NA versus EU, a rivalry as old as League of Legends itself, fueled by competition, bad blood, and bragging rights. For North American fans, the NA-EU rivalry has been defined by curses, nevers, and a whole lot of Keck W's. For European fans, firsts and broken barriers instead. Where NA has never been to a World's Finals and struggles to get out of the group stages, Europe has been there with two different teams in back-to-back years. In an esport dominated by the eastern regions of China and Korea, the English-speaking western regions of North America and Europe have banded together in defeat and mercilessly fired up the meme cannons in moments of regional dominance. And this push and pull, this tenuous, conditional alliance like a wounded Volibear cub running back to its mama after ShowMaker put the moves on your mid laner for the 5th time in 5 different matchups, is part of what gives the EU-NA rivalry its uniqueness. This combination of both made-up and very real, almost palpable memery makes it so that anytime the two regions can be compared, they are, often very simply. But to fully appreciate what the NA versus EU rivalry looks like now, we need to unravel its history. In the esports early days, Season 1 World Champions Fnatic and NA stalwarts Cloud9 clashed often and sparked the regional rivalry into existence as the faces of their respective regions. In 2014, European Champions Alliance got kaboomed. And what made it even sweeter for NA fans was that Alliance, before they'd even played the Brazilian underdogs, was telling Cloud9, "See you in the tiebreakers." It marked the last time that Europe had no representatives past the group stage at Worlds. 2014 was also the last year that more than one team from NA made it out of groups. After that, the only North American team to have made it out has been Cloud9. Meanwhile, Europe has had 2 quarterfinalists in 2015, 2017, 2018, 2020, and 3 quarterfinalists in 2019, but just 1 in 2021. 2014 marked the first great inflection point of the NA-EU rivalry. After that year, the balance of power shifted, and it became more and more apparent with each passing year. Getting out of groups is an important, albeit perhaps embarrassing, benchmark for Western success internationally, and maybe the most common stat that gets hurled at the other side when bantering. NA is literally the butt of innumerable jokes, and not without reason. Near airport, not advancing, and 1,000 other copy pastas have piled on in earnest since 2017. At the 2017 World Championship, we encountered the biggest what-if of the NA-EU rivalry. Cloud9 advanced out of groups, but 2 spots in the quarterfinals would be determined by an NA-EU tiebreaker. Misfits beat TSM, and Fnatic beat Immortals to punch their tickets. If those games went the other way, the 2017 Worlds quarterfinals would have featured 3 North American teams and 0 European ones in what would have been a historic achievement for NA. Instead, it was all downhill from there. But no best of 5 captured a snapshot of the sentiment hanging over the NA-EU rivalry quite like the 2019 MSI Finals. Europe was looking strong as its super team, G2 Esports, had just taken down Faker and SKT in a 5-game semifinal. On the other side of the bracket, North America's Team Liquid were set to face off against Chinese powerhouse and defending world champions Invictus Gaming and their 9-1 group stage record. Team Liquid 3-1 Invictus Gaming in one of the wildest upsets in modern League history. It looked like the West was finally on the rise. However, it was a one-region, maybe one-team show. In still the fastest international best-of-5 in the history of the esport, G2 made a mockery of Team Liquid at a global final. The combined kill score was 56-13 in favor of G2. It was an outright embarrassment, especially considering what Team Liquid had just done to Invictus Gaming. Since then, 2 World Championships would go by in which no North American teams made it out of groups. 2020 LCS champions TSM would go on to lose every single match of theirs at Worlds, and Cloud9 at MSI 2021 blew a potential shot at the semifinals by losing to then winless Australian representatives Pentanet.gg. And sure, Europe might have also had its rough moments lately, but it's really hard for North American fans to make fun of the combined 6-0 dumpstering that Fnatic and G2 took at the hands of IG and FPX in back-to-back World Finals. or Fnatic allowing the first ever reverse sweep in World's history at the 2020 quarterfinals to top Esports. Where Europe used to be North America's little brother as far as the esport is concerned, Europe recently has started developing and championing its young talent with orgs like Mad Lions. It has made a name for itself by becoming the first team other than Fnatic or G2 to win an LEC split since 2014, and did it twice in 2021 while fielding 4 starters that all came up through the European regional leagues and were in at most their 3rd year of professional play. Europe's G2 and Mad Lions dominate domestically and internationally with European talent, while NA has continued to struggle recently with an over-reliance on imports. Now, when it comes to NA versus EU as of 2021, have both regions benefited from bringing in imports to build their teams at various points in time? Yeah. And does North America still have a long way to go to consider itself on equal footing with its fellow Western region? Arguably so. But also in 2021, there was a World Championship tiebreaker in Group A between Cloud9 and Rogue that marked another small but significant chapter in the rivalry and brought it back into the international spotlight in a new way. Cloud9 beating Rogue marked the first time since 2018 that NA had made it out of groups, and this time it was at Europe's expense. It was also the first time that NA ever beat EU in a tiebreaker to make it out of groups. Only time will tell whether this means that a fundamental shift in the balance of power in the rivalry has taken place, but the fact of the matter is, despite all the low points, North America has shown in flashes that they have the capacity to beat the best of the best domestically and internationally. It's all about consistency now. And even though a North American team has still never beaten a European one in a best of 5 internationally outside of Rift Rivals 2017, you can be sure that Cloud9's victory over Rogue will be rubbed into EU fans' faces at every turn. Because it's petty and it gets under people's skin. It's a rivalry. Thanks for watching. For more gaming related content, subscribe to the Esports YouTube channel to stay up to date.